My mother-in-law ignored my wishes and got my 3-week-old sick, but my husband said that I am overreacting. So I am closing this chapter and calling my lawyer. I have been married to my husband for 5 years. It has been wonderful. Aside from my mother-in-law, she's always had this emotional incest hold over him, and while he does try to come to my defense when she starts her nitpicking and sly comments, a lot of the time he drops the ball, like when it was our 3-year anniversary, and she came over knowing that I prepared all of this and ruined the night, and he said just let her stay. This time, I'm done. We just had our baby boy 3 weeks ago, and as you can imagine, I am not in the space for company or her flippant comments about how I'm parenting. I and my husband have both told her we need at least 2 months to get acclimated, and we don't want our son to get sick, and she will have to quarantine for at least a week before she can come over to see him. That may be a little much, but he's my first baby. After a week of badgering, she seemed like she understood. She assured him. This leads me to Friday. She comes over unannounced with balloons and presents, along with my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and her 2 friends who I don't even know. I stood there in horror and shock as she darted toward my baby and kissed his face. I screamed at her and the family to get the hell out of my house. She called my husband crying, and he got back yesterday and told me that I needed to apologize and she's just happy for the first boy grandchild. I'm actually crying while writing this because now he has a fever, and my husband just doesn't get it. This is the last straw. I told him he needed to tell her to back off or I was done. He said I was overreacting, and she was just excited. His siblings did not know I didn't give her permission and they called and apologized profusely. His mother feels like she's being ganged up on. Yesterday I talked to him and I realized that I care so much about my baby getting sick, but he doesn't. I'm closing this chapter. I met with a good friend who is a lawyer and I'm getting all my ducks in order. My husband is calling and blowing up my phone. I blocked his mother because she was 2. I can't block him because he is the father of our child and he does have right to see his son, but I am done. He no longer has access to me. He'll have to go through a mediator, and only communication will be about our child. I'm heartbroken that 5 years are gone, but the fire inside of me from this situation is making it better. I would never be that evil to keep him away from our son unless he was physically abusive to him. Also, he couldn't have gotten sick from me because I've been holed up in a house for 3 weeks pretty much. I never said she could never see him, but 2 to 3 months before introducing your baby to people is recommended. It was barely a month. If she had just waited, she could have seen him next month with no problem. I don't completely hate her or dislike her. Do I think she's annoying and overbearing? Yes, but I would never keep her away from him. A baby under 3 months getting sick is dangerous, so no. I am not overreacting for wanting her to wait 2 more weeks to see him. My parents and family weren't allowed to see him either. It was never just about her because of what problems we had in the past. I would never be that evil unless she physically hurt him. Update 2. I showed my husband this Reddit post, and I let our doctor talk to him, and he sees how dangerous it was for her to bombard and like that, especially when we asked her to wait about 2 months. He had a long talking to from his uncle about asking me to apologize. This isn't fixed, and I'm still upset, but we are setting up therapy because he says that he does need some pointers to help deal with his mother. He did talk to his mother and she did apologize, and I do feel like it was genuine because she is very upset that he is sick and ding dong. Everyone, she has a cold. After she woke up feeling like crap, she called him crying and saying that she hopes this doesn't keep her from seeing the baby forever, and I assured her, just like I've been saying, that I was never going to keep her from seeing him forever. She is his grandmother and I would never want to do that. I told her she could see him after she's gotten over her cold, and I explained to her this is what I wanted to prevent. She said she's going to wait at least 2 weeks before she sees him and wear a mask to be extra safe. She's sitting on Zoom with my parents looking at him and talking to him. I don't know what is going to happen with my relationship with my mother-in-law, but I hope we can be civil for the sake of our baby boy, who is doing okay if anyone was wondering. He asked me to come home and I told him I would.